Welcome to the Epic Success Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Shannon Irvine, and today I'm going to be talking about the deadly business killer. You know it very well. It is called fear. Now, you've heard fear talked about as false evidence appearing real, but I can tell you from a brain-based perspective, fear is a progress and focus killer. So we're going to talk about that today on the podcast and what you can do to flip the switch in your brain on fear so that not that you won't experience fear again, but you can harness it, you can tap into it, and you can actually utilize the chemicals of fear to propel your business. That's what we're talking about on the podcast today. Let's go. All right. So as you just heard, the doors are open for the certification. Look, if you're a coach, you need to be certified. And if you've already been certified in some other coach certification, here's what I know. No one has the tools and the process of creating a coaching business in a box like our Sync Neuro Coach certification. It is the only brain-based certification on the marketplace that allows you to know that you were getting your clients transformation in their mind permanently 100% of the time. That, my friends, is crazy confidence. So go to beacertifiedcoach.com and get certified this beginning of this year, 2023. Imagine a sold out coaching program in 2023. Nothing better. And it's a growing industry. All right, go to beacertifiedcoach.com. So now I want to talk to you about a four-letter word that I see stop so many entrepreneurs, slowing them down, slowing me down, making you feel like we're literally walking in quicksand. And no, it's not the four-letter word you thought of. It is the word fear. Now, neurochemically, from a brain-based perspective, fear actually clicks the fight or flight system on. Now, fear gets created by a thought. Fear gets created by a thought. So here is the craziest thing in the world. Fear stops us, sometimes totally takes us off track, puts us in anxiety, puts a future, it puts an undesired result in the future and borrows it and brings it into the present. Let me say that again. It takes an undesired future result, manifests it as if it's real in our minds, and brings it back into the current present moment. And these neurochemicals that kick in are the same ones that would kick in if somebody broke into your house or a tiger came to into your space if you were at the zoo. It's the dream killer neurochemicals. Honestly, that's what I call them, because what I see so many entrepreneurs do is when they are somewhere they haven't been before, because here's the thing, fear does not kick in for you as an entrepreneur if you've been where you are. Let that set for a second. So fear only clicks in when you try to take a step in a way, in a place, in an identity, in another process that you have not done before. That's when that system fires up. Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? And listen, your brain is an amazing tool that you get to actually harness to create anything that you want. But most of us going around with our minds, with our brains on default, not by design. Your creator gave you your brain and said, here's the operating system. You get to actually operate it. Think on what is true, pure, good, and lovely. Renew, make your mind new every single day. Choose this day what you will think, because it will become that. So in the brain, fear is literally like pouring water on fire. And it douses out any of the motivation, any of the focus, any of the things that will allow you to get past the resistance that you need in order to get to that next level. Here's the reality. Doing what you've always done and expecting different results will keep you out of fear, but it will also keep you away from your future. Doing exactly what you've done, being so sure because you've already done it, does not induce fear. However, it does not induce your future. And so what I want to tell you today is there's an antidote to fear. There's a brain-based antidote. There's a scripture-based antidote. There is an antidote to fear. If fear, that ugly 4-letter word that allows us to take something we don't want, shove it into the future and see it as if it's actually happening and pull it into our present and making us stop. If fear has that power, then my sweet, sweet friend, you've got to understand the tool you've been given to eliminate it. Because you are the creator of your thoughts, and your thoughts create your future. You're either going to have a thought of fear or a thought of faith. And when I say faith, I mean belief. I mean 100% committed to the outcome. I mean, in the face of resistance and fear, not do it anyway, think it anyway. In other words, you have this operating system that's driven, its whole system is run on the thoughts that you think. Now, a little dose of bad news, and then I'll give you all the great news. Here's the dose of bad news. If you have been life on default, business on default, not actually harnessing the power of this amazing Ferrari that sits on top of your shoulders, then I am sad to inform you that you have automations running in your subconscious about money, about fear, about enoughness, about worth, about all the things that will get you to your future that you did not choose. They came from your environment of origin. Now, here's the thing, the system is built on repetition. Its design was for you to repeat what was good, true, pure, and lovely so that you would have more of it. But unfortunately, in a broken world that we live in, with sometimes, whether you had a perfect childhood or a childhood that was horrible or somewhere in between, you grew up under someone else's thoughts about money, about worth, about enoughness, about what you can do, what your potential is, and what to do when you hit fear. Now, I'm going to be really honest. My mom, may she rest in peace, was crippled by fear. I mean, crippled. And this woman was a giant. This woman should have been speaking on stages. She was incredible, but she didn't see it. And when fear, borrowing a desired outcome that we don't want, an undesired outcome in the future, bringing it into the present, she would worry about so many things that never came to happen, yet it paralyzed her so much so that by the time I moved out, she wasn't leaving the house. She would get in the car, never fly. She'd get in the car with my dad and they would drive to come see me and drive back. They would never leave the house. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. Yet at the same time, I did the same thing sometimes in my business, afraid to take that next step, afraid to put myself out there, afraid that somebody is going to say something about me, I'm not enough, whatever. And it made me play small until one day in those PhD rooms, I learned that that was all neurochemicals and that we have control over the switch to turn them on or off. And the key to that system is your thoughts. Your thoughts create your reality. You create your reality through your thoughts. Now, here's what I know. Fear is going to fire when you haven't done something before. And by the way, when you get to 6 figures in your business, you'll have different fears. And when you get to 7 figures in your business, different fears. Because why? Because you've never been there before. So here's the key. Your brain is set up in a way that you are the creator of your thoughts, and your thoughts create your reality. So I have a hard but loving question to ask you today. Do you want to live a life of fear? Do you want to never go past where you are because of the feeling of fear? And yes, I am saying feeling of fear because the neurochemicals use your emotional system to stop you. Remember, your brain right now wants to keep you aligned with what's programmed, and it's running 90% of your daily actions and decisions. So as you're getting towards something you haven't done before, you start to feel it, right? Physically, whether it's in your chest, your back, your stomach, you start to feel that resistance. And our brain wants to make us get back out of that resistance. But everything that you want is on the other side. Everything you want is on the other side of choosing today who you're going to serve, because you can't have two masters. You can only serve fear or faith. And I love the word faith over belief, because belief is like, oh, I'm believing, but you're not, because you're practicing the fear way more than the belief. But faith is saying, I believe it even though I don't see it. I'm going to stay in the belief of it, even though I don't see it currently, and use the same system fear uses to actually shortcut fear, meaning go to the future with a desired result and bring it back into the present. I see 300,000 plus on a stage already. Why? Because captives need to be set free. Shackles need to come off your arms and your feet so you can see the greatness that's inside you, so you can tap into that calling. And this, my friend, I'm a little preachy today. I hope you don't mind, but fear is the neurochemical that is stopping you. So my question to you today, as I wrap up this podcast, is what are you going to choose? It's not that you're not going to have the fear. It's not that you're not going to feel the fear. In the moments that you feel that fear, will you live by default or will you live by design? What if you could harness that feeling of fear to actually propel you toward your future? Collapse time, meaning you feel it, you're like, oh, there that feeling is, it makes me want to stop. How can I harness this and use this energy that it's producing to catapult me toward my future? Well, you are the creator of your thoughts. Use that energy to catapult a thought on purpose toward the future that you want and bring it back into the present. See it so clearly, almost as well as you can see with your eyes around you, because you know fear, that's what you do, right? You see an outcome you don't want so clearly that it makes you stop. What if you use that same neurochemical feeling to be the trigger that says, I'm going to choose by design the future I want, and I am going to lasso that puppy into the future as if it's right now, and watch the power of speed happen in your life. So my call to you today, and I want to know in Instagram, I want to know if it's faith or fear, because you got to choose. You can't serve two masters. It is a conscious, by design decision daily to say, I choose faith over fear. Great Instagram quote, but I just broke down for you how neurochemically to do that so that you can use this system to collapse time and literally pull your future close to you today. I hope this was a powerful podcast for you today. I hope it served you deeply. As I promised you, I am only going to bring you what will allow you to get to your dreams and allow you to see your full potential and create the epic success that you see already behind your eyes. All right, until I see you next week, that's what I have for you this week on the Epic Success Podcast. I pray you choose faith. Bye for now.